Today's sponsor is Massdrop. Hello everybody, and if you're out there right now thinking of getting yourself a new pair of headphones, I would like to personally recommend to you this pair of Sennheiser PC37X from Massdrop. Personally, I've been testing this pair of headphones for about 2 weeks now, and I have to say this is among the best pair of headphones I've ever used. It checks all of my major boxes, it's got good sound, it's got a crystal clear microphone, it is wonderfully comfortable even after incredibly long periods of gaming, and finally, it doesn't break the bank. If this sounds like exactly what you're looking for, click the link in the video description below. It's also coming up on your screen right now. Go on the website, read the reviews, and join the drop. Hello everybody, and welcome back. It is good to talk to all of you again today, and today I have a little bit more CV rework footage for all of you. Of course, originally there was supposed to be a test today, and I was originally going to record new footage, but something went kind of wrong, and we're not going to do it right away, I guess. We still need another day or so. So I've used some of the older footage that I collected earlier on, I think this past weekend. So, it's not the best footage. This was a lot of the early things where I was just like testing things, messing around with things, and so not 100% perfect. But it's okay, I will have new footage for you when the test comes back. Now, please, there is something that I will need to say. Please treat this as a work in progress video. There is a lot of things that still need to be worked on, a lot of things that still need to be changed and addressed, just lots more that needs to be done, because what we have so far is very, very, very incomplete. So please don't take a look at this and go, all right, it's terrible, or just one look and go, all right, it's amazing. There are problems, right? But it is a work in progress, and hopefully with videos like this that come out, offering opinions, for you leaving comments in the comment section so the developers can read it, it is all going to be very, very useful for them as well. So please keep that in mind while you watch the rest of the video. So let's start with the positives, because it's always good to start with positives and then talk about things that need work. In terms of positives, there's a few things that I think are really good. For one, anti-aircraft really feels good. It's like being able to dodge the flak bursts, or making mistakes and getting hit by them, seeing the explosions of things around you. It is a lot more engrossing than it used to be. In the past, when A was just an aura, who cared, right? Like when you're a CV player, you didn't really care, and plus you didn't really ever see much of it. Now it's different. Like, watch this attack run. If I go engage in Montana, you see these puffs of black smoke, and it feels real. It feels like, hey, you are actually attacking a ship that is actually trying to defend itself. So for sure, the graphical element of this is much better than it used to be. You really do feel like you're in the action right now. So that's one of the major perks, shall we say, of this new rework. Second, the original goal of the rework was to improve accessibility of carriers so that more people will try them. I think if it's something like this, that you're going to get that. You're definitely going to find more players who are going to try it, because a lot of things are going to feel more familiar, right? So I think that's a good part. Being able to actually fly your planes in, get the drops to the points that you want them, getting a perfect drop on an enemy ship, it does feel good when you do that. So in the last little while, I've been attacking this Montana, and you'll see that I did get one really good drop at the beginning. I set it up properly, went in, dropped very well. And then a couple of them I rushed, I didn't set them up very well. So there is definitely that skill element to getting the drops right, picking the right kind of locations, the right timing, things like that. But aside from that, there are certainly issues. And make no mistake, some of these issues I still think are going to need quite a bit of work. The first and biggest issue is the fact that when I was playing this, I think I played maybe 4 or 5 battles, and my reaction was, I'm actually bored. Which, when you think about it, is a really bad thing, considering this just came out, right? Like this rework, we just got around to trying it, and it lasted me less than 10 games total between the Midway at tier 10 and the Ranger, which is at tier 6. That's it. I became bored. And I actually spent a few days thinking about, like, why did I get bored? Visually, like I said earlier, things are beautiful. You really do feel like you're in the action. So why am I bored? Now, I said AA looked beautiful. However, for one, AA does contribute to that feeling of boredom, because at the end of the day, after maybe 10 games, you come to the realization that, well, the AA is just RNG. Like, where the black puffs appear is wherever the RNG dictates it to appear, essentially. The enemy player is not doing anything. They're basically hoping to God that, one, you're not targeting them, and two, they're essentially praying that the black clouds end up in the right places and they hit your planes and that you don't dodge them. That's it. That AA interaction is really poor, because that's all it is. Like, it's beautiful. Like, you can see it. It's a beautiful thing to look at. Visually, incredibly impressive. But gameplay-wise, after a while, it just becomes incredibly stale, because you're basically playing a mini-game with a bunch of AA that's controlled essentially by AI. You don't fight another carrier. Like, the two carriers pretty much never interact with each other. The fighter that you can summon, well, the cooldown takes forever. The planes just appear, and they seem to currently disappear. Maybe that's just a bug. They're supposed to last a while, but they don't seem to last very long. But that's about it. Like, that's the grand total interaction it feels like you have against other players. And for a game that is supposed to be a player versus player, a carry player feels a lot more like he's just playing a PvE game. And don't forget, for the surface player, when you're running up against the carrier, your dependency again becomes, oh god, please RNG be good today. It's just not that fun, right? Because you don't really want to be that surface ship who is, once again, dependent on whether the AA gods like you that day and you get all your flat clouds in the perfect places. And for a CV player, at the end of the day, that's all you end up playing against. An AI or RNG, or whichever one. And just, it's losing that player versus player interaction. The I managed to outwit you and outskill you and outplay you. It's losing that. And also for the surface ship player, if you're actually a human player, it doesn't really feel fun when you're unable to actively defend yourself aside from just maneuvering. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. You can maneuver, and that's about it. And of course, it's also more of an issue now because, especially, okay, now I'm pretty sure this will get nerfed, but if you look at the way the midway is, one squadron has 20 torpedoes to drop. And so you get attacked by one, and then there's another wave, then there's another wave, and then there's another wave that can come in. So it's like, and all you can do is really sort of cross your fingers and say, okay, enemy CV player, make a mistake and run into something. It's a pretty big issue, in my opinion. I think this is something that really probably needs to be thought about a little bit more again to see if maybe something else could be done. My suggestion is still, I think, going to be similar to before, which is allow player-controlled flak AA. So, like, yes, let the machine guns stay the way they are, but give the control of the flak AA to the human player. Now that human player has to make decisions, right? Like, when do you worry about surface ships? When do you worry about aircraft? And if you're worrying about aircraft, at least when you're shooting, you can feel like you're actively defending yourself with your own skills. And if you fail, you fail, right? And you still have those close-in machine guns that'll whittle down planes slowly. Okay, that's maybe a thing. Now for the carrier player, isn't there now a great feeling of being rewarded if you're successful, right? If you outplay the guy and, you know, you outwit him and you get your planes in the right way, or you catch him unaware, it's like, that feels good. That's your skill versus the other player. And I think that's really important. It really is, because right now in its current state, the reason why I felt I was so bored with it so quickly was just because even when I was playing against players, it didn't feel like it was PvP, right? Now, aside from that, are there small things that are concerning? Yeah, for sure. I mean, the balancing's whacked right now, right? It's just, there's a lot of things wrong balance-wise with the planes as well. Dive bombers are incredibly frustrating and not that effective when you compare them to torpedo bombers. Rocket planes, useful. They're very, very useful. In fact, I'd even say rocket planes are probably more useful than the dive bombers. At least that's my take on them so far, because they're super, super fast, by the way. The rocket planes, especially on the midway, go incredibly fast. Which leads to another problem. CV sniping is a thing. Right now, it's doable because you don't have direct control of your carrier. You don't have direct control over your damage control or repair kit. Actually, you don't even have a damage control. You just have a repair kit, which is like you're going to get flooded to death or you're going to get set on fire to death. So, really not sure why that decision was made. Like, CVs should have access directly to their damage control repairs or whatever while they're in their plane view. But right now you have to recall that squadron before you can actually do anything. It's like you can't steer your ship unless it's from the mini-map view. That's really bad and poor design. I don't know why that's done. I mean, hell, if you're going to do that, just take the CVs off map. Just take them right off the map and make it so that it's just planes, right? Okay, I think that might work in its own way, but just why? Why make it so that the CV stays on the map? What's the point and purpose of this? I don't really understand, to be honest. Yeah, that's the major pros, cons with the new CV rework right now. The one big thing is Wargaming has a lot of work to do, and for those of you who watch through this video, please do keep this in mind. I will repeat myself like a teacher will repeat themselves like 3 times. It is work in progress. There's a ton of stuff that has to be fixed, adjusted, rebalanced, redone. And even then, I think if they don't solve that interaction between sort of the surface ships AA and aircraft in terms of the flak AA, I just don't think it has that high of a replayability, because end of the day, you'll feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. The game has essentially lost depth. It's become essentially a repeat single task over and over and over and over again. And for the surface ship, it's not much fun either, because you can't actively be a participant. You're kind of passive. I mean, just look at these 2 midways that I've been attacking. On 2 of my runs, there was very little interference from flak, but look at this run, and all of a sudden, I don't know, RNG helped, and all the A was just right in front of me and losing planes left, right, and center. It's not a good interaction if that is what you're hoping for as a surface ship when trying to defend yourself, especially since now there's repeated attack runs, right? So, anyways, I've shown you what I can today. I'll wait for the test server to come back up again, hopefully record some more footage, and maybe show you guys some more tomorrow. Anyways, if you have thoughts or opinions or whatever, leave those in the comment section below. Aside from all that, folks, you have a good one. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to all of you again really, really soon.